Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, wrestling edition, Royal Rumble recap. The road to WrestleMania is in full swing. We got the L7C captain with us, Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm always ready to talk some wrestling.
We got the wrestling expert, Mr. Jacob Mason. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad I'm still being called the wrestling expert after this past weekend. But I'm doing good. Doing good.
That's good. Before we elaborate on what Jacob means on that, the Royal Rumble just took place this past Saturday, and it broke a lot of records financially. All-time gate record, more than 7.7 million. Viewership saw a 52% increase besides last year. Like revenue, merchandise sales were up 135%, while sponsorship revenue was up 200%. What do you guys think about these Royal Rumble record highs? Over 20 million viewers across all WWE platforms for the Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn stuff, and over 26.5 million views across WWE and Logan Paul's platforms for the spot with Logan and Ricochet. So what do y'all think about these? Royal Rumble was a hit financially.
I was going to say it was, but I wonder if it was because they thought a certain someone was going to show up. And that's why ticket sales increased, viewership increased, and all that increased. I mean, I enjoyed the pay-per-view from top to bottom. I thought it was an excellent show. Triple H's first Royal Rumble under his creative leadership, so I think he did a great job. So I can see why everything increased, because they want to see what is Triple H going to do in the Royal Rumble, and I think he did a good job.
It's funny how you said that, because right here from Forbes, in addition to strong live events, WWE's ratings have been excellent through the Triple H era. With Monday Night Football out of the way, WWE Raw, the 30th anniversary, garnered 2.34 million viewers, the highest numbers in years. SmackDown continues to trend around 2.4 million. So, yeah. Jacob, what do you think about hearing all of these stats for the Royal Rumble? And like Byron said, Triple H's first one at the creative helm.
I think that's the biggest thing right there, is the fact that Triple H is at the helm. We have seen a complete uptick of WWE products since Triple H has taken over creative. I think this just goes to show how good he is at what he does.
Agree. And there was no pre-show matches. I think that's the first time in a long time there wasn't some just like random
pre-show match.
Yeah, random match. Like they had a whole hour pre-show, which is fine. And then you get the tweet around like 7:59 that the men's Royal Rumble is starting the show. What, Jacob, what was your first thoughts hearing that the men's Royal Rumble was starting the show?
I was like, well, I'm pretty sure my 2-year prediction is now wrong. As soon as they started out with the men's Royal Rumble, I'm like, well, fuck. Like, there's no good way of this ending. And then I'm running all of the scenarios through my head. Like, all right, theoretically, if The Rock does not show up, how are they going to work him into the WrestleMania storyline? What are we going to do? And the whole time, just like, yeah, this ain't fucking happening. Well, shit. So, yeah.
Byron, what did you think when you saw? You're like, man, men are starting first.
Yeah, we were watching it together at your house, and I looked at you. I was like, the men's Royal Rumble is starting first. That means either A, some big shit is happening in the men's, and they're just trying to get it out the way to kill suspense and all that, or B, something big is happening in the main event, and the main event is going to be Roman versus KO.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was B, which we'll dive into later in the episode. But I was nervous, like, what the hell is about to happen? Are my predictions about to be wrong? Like Jacob was thinking, but I had a different prediction. And he did. But yeah, I was like, holy shit, something big is about to happen.
So we get into the Royal Rumble men's. First person up is Gunter. Second person is Sheamus. Obviously, if you watched that pay-per-view earlier where they had their match of the year quality match, you got excited seeing those two being the first two.
Oh yeah, Gunter did his thing in the Royal Rumble overall, but like you said, I was like, oh shit, they're about to beat the hell out of each other for 5 minutes until the next number 3 comes in, and they did. They beat the hell out of each other for 5 minutes until number 3 came in.
Yeah, number 3, Miz, then Kofi, Johnny. You don't get your first real, like, oh, things might change until number 12. Brock Lesnar comes out early. So in my head, I was like, if Brock Lesnar's coming out at 12, who the hell do they have at the end of the show? And then you had Bobby come right after Brock, and it's looking like they're going to WrestleMania. Jacob, how do you feel now about this Brock Bobby rivalry has actually been continuing?
So I'm kind of torn on it because I really want to see Brock versus Gunther at Mania. I really want to see that match. But I do like how Brock is putting over Bobby Lashley right now. And he's doing the job, and that's, well, let's face it, that's good shit.
Brock Lesnar being eliminated by Bobby, too. So you keep going down. You really don't have any. You have Booker T. Booker T was one of the didn't expect it to come in. He didn't last very long. And then you have the return of Edge. Edge comes back, obviously gets a big pop. He goes right after Judgment Day. He's taking them out. And then 29 was Logan Paul, who, again, another person that people didn't expect. And then 30, it was obvious it was Cody. So my question for you guys is, usually the Royal Rumble is one of those things like who's coming back, who's surprises, yada, yada. Not many. It was, again, mostly the main male roster. Byron, I'll start with you. How do you feel about that most of the men's was just the people who were on day in, day out?
I actually like that a lot because it's putting more focus on, hey, we got these superstars that can maybe one day carry the show for us. So I like that it was mostly the main roster guys. You didn't have your NXT call-ups, which I would have liked to see a few NXT call-ups. But besides the point, I like that it was just Booker T coming back for just that one legend spot. And then Logan Paul, we knew he was going to return because he's under contract at some point, but I didn't expect him to return at the Rumble because I know he tore both his ACLs, and that requires some serious healing. And he came in, did a high spot with the Ricochet where they both jumped off the top rope and crashed into each other. So his ACL is doing pretty well if you can do that. But I like that it was just the main roster guys.
Jacob, how are you feeling about mostly being the main roster and not that many surprises?
I loved it. I loved it because, I mean, we've all said it for years on the podcast. We need to shine a light on the main roster. We need to shine the light on who we have. We need to quit with this part-timer bullshit and focus on what we had. And they did that. I mean, Booker T came in just because it was San Antonio. That was the only reason he was there. Fine, whatever. In and out, done. No big deal. Came in, did his thing. That's that. But yeah, I love the fact we just focused on WWE, pretty much just full-time guys. I mean, Brock, being the exception to that, but that's fine. Brock did the job. So I can't complain about anything right now. I mean, Logan Paul, I mean, let's be honest, anytime that guy shows up to a show and does anything, he takes the spotlight and he runs with it, and he does such a good job.
Agreed. I agree with you guys. I think the only thing I would change is I don't like them posting the pictures on Twitter, and this is from the official WWE account, where they basically have almost everyone in there. Like, I do think that takes away from the surprises. Because it's like once you start doing the math, you're like, oh, Cody's going to be 30. Which I don't like that. Like, I don't like you posting like the picture of these are everyone in the Royal Rumble and you only see like 2 blank spaces. Like, it takes away from like that surprise. Because obviously, if you think about when you were younger, you didn't know who the hell was coming out and who was really in, except for like the few big stars who would announce they're in the Rumble. That'd be my only change. But I agree with you guys. And all of
just with the Cody thing, I think they could have had a much bigger pop if they had not announced him entering like 2 weeks before the Rumble. I think they should have kept that as a surprise, and then boom, here comes Cody Rhodes at number 30. Would have got a way, way bigger pop than he did.
Yeah, but if they were going to do that, they needed to definitely cut back all like the commercial promo things they were doing for Cody. They were running a load of those.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that. And speaking with Cody, he comes in number 30, and we talked about Brock and Bobby. So you can already see WrestleMania matches getting set up. Brock, Bobby, Edge, and Judgment Day are not done. And then you get to the final 4. Cody, Gunter, Seth, and Logan Paul. Gunter, he lasted basically the whole Royal Rumble. He set a record for longest in the regular Royal Rumble matches. Obviously, the overall one is Daniel Bryan because he lasted the longest at the greatest Royal Rumble. But he was in there forever, and he not just was in the final 4, he was in the final 2. I know Byron a long time ago, like the change from Walter to Gunter, you weren't a fan of it, but they have protected him very well, and you can tell, like, obviously Cody won, he's going to WrestleMania, but Gunter was the biggest winner of the night almost.
Yeah, I was very vocal about them changing his name from Walter to Gunter, but they have done very well with protecting him and making him look like this mega superstar. He's still the Intercontinental Champion. He's been like Intercontinental Champ for like 200 plus days.
Yeah.
So they've been protecting him very well. Like, his name is actually starting to grow on me now. I don't mind calling him Gunter.
I don't think he's been pinned since he's been called up.
Yeah, I don't think he has either.
Yeah.
But they made him look like such a superstar in the Rumble, lasting like over an hour from the number 1 spot going to the final 2. Excellent booking that they've done.
71 minutes and 42 seconds exact. That's how long he was in the match. Jacob, what did you think? Because obviously you saw with him being in that long, you know there's bigger plans for him down the road.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I loved what they were doing with Gunther. Now, I want to ask both of you guys a question. When it came down to Cody and Gunther, were you guys like pulling for Gunther to win at all?
There was some, and there were some spots too where I was like, oh, is he actually going to win? Like, I was just thinking about it because I'm like, from a Roman perspective, Roman has the entire bloodline. At least Gunter has Imperium, so he could take people out. Like, those two could go. If you wanted to do a full changing of the guard, you could have the Imperium beat the Usos for the titles, and then Gunter beats Roman. Like, you have a whole different ship. So when I started thinking like that, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense because, like, Cody, he's gonna fight 6. Well, maybe not 6 anymore, but at the time before the main event, 6 people alone, that wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
So there were times I was like, Gunter versus Roman. Roman can't just bully Gunter because Gunter's about the life. So there were times.
Yeah, this in my house, me and my wife watching it, we were. I mean, when it came down to the ends, we were pulling for Gunther. Like, I was like, dude, Dark Horse didn't see it coming. You know, I guess if The Rock's not showing up, Cody's the obvious choice. But I'm like, fucking let's go Gunther. Also, I mean, I'll put you guys on my mindset. Rey Mysterio not coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me at the very end was like, are they going to pull like what they did with a Becky Lynch, where Lana got injured and then she came in? I was like, oh, I wonder if The Rock's going to come out. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Trying to save my 2-year prediction like a fucking parlay on DraftKings.
Let's just and then Cody wins. And this is the first time like number 1 and number 30 were the final 2 in the men's Royal Rumble, which is crazy. At first, the way it was looking, especially when they had the stare down, I was like, all right, final 2 is going to be Cody and Seth. Logan Paul eliminates Seth Rollins, who a lot of people recently, especially Kurt Angle, have talked about. He is WWE's MVP because he does everything. And he's wrestling every night and all that stuff. And it's looking like Logan versus Seth because Seth was denied this championship opportunity. The only person who did not lose to Roman Reigns during Roman Reigns' thing. Jacob, first you. Are we feeling Logan versus Seth that that's where they're really going to go?
Dude, I don't care who the hell Logan Paul faces. I do not care. I just want to watch Logan Paul wrestle. He's that good. Let's be completely honest. He's the best celebrity wrestler WWE has ever had. I'm going out there and I'm stating that now.
I can't say that because dude was a wrestler in like high school. Like I'm still sticking. Like when I think celebrity, it's someone who no athletic anything, no wrestling, no nothing. That's why I'll always go like Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Okay, give me Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul. Give me Bad Bunny versus Ricochet. Because talk about that was the spot of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like Cody winning was cool and everything, but let's be honest. The spot that Logan and Ricochet did stole the show. And in my
opinion, until the end of the night.
Yeah, till the end of the night. But damn, dude, like spot of the Rumble, that was awesome what they did. Colliding midair. I was like, what are they doing? Like, are they just going to jump in and then like punch each other? No, they're going to hit each other midair. It was sick as hell.
They went full anime on that, and I would So Byron, what do you think? Logan, Seth, you okay with that?
Oh yeah. At first, the rumor was going to be like Logan versus John Cena or John Cena versus Austin Theory.
Which could still happen.
It could still happen. But I would much rather see Logan versus Seth Rollins and then John Cena versus Austin Theory. So let's go with that plan. Triple H. If you're,
I will say too that Seth needs to get a title. He needs to get the main title sooner or later. It's overdue now for him. So
let's hold on. I'm going to interrupt here. Seth is in a Drew McIntyre situation. Right guy, wrong time.
I think it's true, but I think your thing's dead now because your thing was for The Rock. So now anyone can be the right person.
That's true.
It's Jacob. Now you were wrong, man. We tried to warn you. 2 years of this Rock nonsense. Dude wasn't even in the build. He wasn't even in the state.
The only thing I found really strange was at that like post-show press conference thing. He got brought up.
Oh yeah, to Triple H. Yeah,
and Triple H talked about him. Like, I don't know. Part of me, and like I said, just probably because I've been holding on to this shit for 2 years now. Part of me is still like has this like little tiny ember of hope that I'll just be right. It's not even that I want The Rock to show up. It's I just want to be right. Just completely off. Like, that's the only reason. And a part of me is like, I just kind of find it funny that like, oh, I got brought up and Tripp was like smiling about it, you know. Like part of me's like, what's going on here?
I mean, he was brought up the night before on Friday. I mean, on that day when Roman was on Jimmy Fallon. And they were bringing him up, and he's like, well, he says he's not in wrestling shape, even though he works out every day. But I guess wrestling is different than just pumping iron. But Jake, I'm going to say, man, Cody's ruined your stuff, man. He's discrediting you. You didn't say he was coming back.
Cody's fucked multiple times here. He ain't leaving AEW. He ain't gonna win the Royal Rumble. This motherfucker, like, he might as well be the NBA of my gambling life because I constantly lose on NBA picks and I constantly lose on Cody Rhodes picks.
Oh, wow.
I just get fucked over every time.
And you're probably gonna say he's not gonna beat Roman, and I don't know.
I'm not gonna say that. I don't even know what to bet on that because no matter what I say, the opposite's going to happen.
But the men's
he'll lose. I can say Roman's gonna win and Cody will win. It doesn't matter.
That is true.
Like kryptonite.
So the men's Royal Rumble ends, and then you have the Mountain Dew match, Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. I would say, obviously, we all knew Bray Wyatt was going to win. There was no chance in hell LA Knight was going to win. But I will say, I told Byron when we were watching together, I do love how Triple H has brought the real LA Knight. Like, he put LA Knight in this main eventish spot to be Bray's first televised match again. So I do like how they're utilizing LA Knight again.
Agreed.
Yeah, but besides that, Bray looked scary. Uncle Howdy jumped off the thing. Then LA Knight died.
Okay. Now, I want to say my 2 cents on this. I really had no hope for this match. I was like, this is going to be a fucking glorified commercial the whole time. It was just Mountain Dew, pitch black, advertised everywhere. And like the whole time we were laughing about it. We're like, hey, did you know Mountain Dew's coming back out with pitch black? Did you know that? Hey, Mountain Dew's coming out with pitch black. Did you guys know that? The whole time we're laughing about it here. And this match, honestly, I thought this match was fucking cool. For something I had no hopes for, I fucking love this match. I want a pitch black match every fucking week. Like, give me cosmic bowling of wrestling. I love this. It's amazing. I love the face paint. I love it all. It looks good.
Byron, do you have anything to add?
Bray Wyatt does very great character work. Like, when you first comes out, just normal Bray Wyatt. And then as soon as the lights go out, boom, he's like in this scary ass makeup. I'm like, holy shit, dude. And then he just wrestles a great match between him and LA Knight. And then at the end of the match, he like puts on this like different persona with the mask and looks scary as shit and continues to beat the shit out of LA Knight. And then boom, here comes Uncle Howdy jumping off a 10-foot story, killing LA Knight. The whole experience was amazing. Like, I'm so excited to see what else Bray Wyatt does and what LA Knight does, because they're both over.
I'll be real interested to see how to utilize Bray Wyatt in WrestleMania. You then go to the women's title match, Raw Women's. Alexa Bliss going with Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair surpassing 300 days as champion. They have their wrestling match. Bianca goes over as expected. Alexa Bliss, though, you have the Uncle Howdy, all the Bray stuff happening. Sooner or later, that's going to turn. Anything else you guys want to add to this?
Congratulations to Bianca Belair for going to 300 days. I really want her to go to 365, which I think she will because of what they did on Raw yesterday with the Elimination Chamber. No more contendership match. But congratulations, Bianca. Definitely wondering when Alexa is going to turn, because in that video, Uncle Howdy said, "Do you feel in charge?" I'm like, apparently not anymore. So we'll see what's going on.
Jacob, what do you think of Bliss and Belair?
Yeah, I honestly, when it came to the match itself, I really didn't care that much about it, just in general. The ending of the match was better than the match itself, in my opinion. I like the whole Uncle Howdy thing. I want to see where this goes with Alexa Bliss. I like the storytelling, but the match itself, like, hey, it was a match. They did their thing, and congrats to Bianca for winning, and that's about it. I ain't got shit else for it.
Yeah. Every time I watch Alexa Bliss in this thing, I feel torn, because obviously I want Bianca to win, because, I mean, she was one of my predictions from a long time ago, would she be in this stage, but I always just feel bad for Alexa, because ever since that SummerSlam where Ronda almost broke her arm, she's not had a main title. So I'm glad that she's been able to win in this contendership, but their feud is over.
I don't think so.
You think they're gonna have another match?
Not like it's not going to be like the next match, but I think once Alexa allegedly turns, I think you can run back a lot of matches because you're going to have corrupted Alexa Bliss. You know, and I think you could run that back easily. I think that'd be a great SummerSlam match if you have corrupted Alexa Bliss versus Bianca.
The thing is, I don't think Bianca's going to be. I don't know if Bianca's going to be champ by then.
Well, I'm just saying. I think in the future, I think that's definitely a match that can happen.
So then we go to the women's Royal Rumble match where neither of those women were there. And just a interesting thing, too, because she was not there as well. Charlotte. This is the first Royal Rumble. Well, Becky and Bayley were in there, but no Charlotte in this Royal Rumble. And she's been in the final 3, final 2 every time. She wasn't on the card, which I found very interesting. But Rhea and Liv Morgan came out at number 1 and 2. And Lord and behold, they were the final 2, which that is crazy. What did you guys, just some spots, the people who were in it, obviously Bayley and Becky are still feuding and they took it to a whole another level this past Monday, getting personal. What did you guys think of the women's Royal Rumble?
I thought it was a good Royal Rumble match for the women. Congratulations to Rhea for winning. Congratulations to her and Liv for making it from number 1 and 2 to going all the way to being the final 2. I don't think that's ever been done in Royal Rumble history.
No.
I did call Asuka coming back as Dark Asuka.
You did, and she was in the final 3.
Final 3. She looked scary as hell. I'm like, okay. I'm very intrigued to see what they do with her character because she looked scary on Saturday and she looked scary on Monday Night Raw. I like how Michelle McCool, it was one of the most spots for her because she said before the Royal Rumble that, they haven't contacted me and I don't know if I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. And then her music, beginning of the show, they like panned to her and she's like in the audience with her kids and whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. She's there because it's Undertaker's home state, whatever. And then like her music plays during the Royal Rumble and she gets out of the crowd and comes in and wrestles. I thought that was cool. Zelina Vega cosplaying as one of the Street Fighter characters. I thought that was cool. Becky, Bayley, can't wait to see what they do with their feud. I like their interaction during the match. And the biggest surprise of the women's Royal Rumble is
Chelsea
Nia Jax coming. Well, Chelsea Green coming in and getting eliminated in like 3 seconds. I knew she was coming back. Didn't know she was going to get eliminated that fast. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what they do with her. And then Nia Jax coming back at 30 was not on my bingo board for 2023. And she has vehemently said, yeah, I'm not going back to WWE anytime soon. The money must be good for whatever they offer her to come back. Must be good for her to come back.
I was gonna say, as Dragon Ball expert Mitch said, what happened to the OnlyFans money? Something must have ran out.
Right.
I'm just saying. But Jacob, how did you feel with, like Byron said, Nia Jax at number 30? That's a shock return.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. I didn't. She gets like straight up like Nia Jax came back. I'm like, oh, this is straight up Tamina Snuka vibes right here. Like when Tamina showed up, here we go. We need the big strong woman to come in here and act tough for 5 minutes. And then Nia came out and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. We need a big strong woman to act tough for 5 minutes. Here we go.
Crowd was shocked though. She was like, I'm back, bitches. Like,
I mean, yeah, Nia's back. Okay. I mean, I love how they even mentioned like, oh, look at Nia Jax. She gave Becky Lynch a concussion. And I'm just like, no, picking up right where we left off with her. Hey, you guys remember Nia where she just obliterated Becky Lynch's face? Yeah, she's back. All right. But I like the women's Royal Rumble. It was a fun match. Honestly, like the outfits are on fucking point.
Mhm.
Like the women literally went all out on a lot of their like wrestling outfits, and they were hype. Even Blandy McBlanderson had a great wrestling outfit. I'll give her that. And I can't believe I'm complimenting her. I also laughed my ass off like when I see Nia and Raquel face off with each other, and I'm just like, and it was dumb because Nia did the whole like everyone like pile up on Nia, and then Nia jumps up and everyone flies 37 feet throughout the fucking arena. And then like 3 seconds later, they just act like Raquel Rodriguez just didn't get like thrown 57 feet by fucking Nia Jax. She just shows up like, hey, what's up? I'm Raquel. I'm Nia. Let's have a face off. Like, you just got obliteratedly thrown because Nia jumped up. Like, that was dumb. That was dumb writing. Like, if she was in the corner, it'd make more sense, but that didn't make any sense to me. I thought that shit was dumb. But I also don't care about either of them at this point. So
just think about for the fact that Rhea came in at number 1 and won, and like literally she must have healed because she got speared by Beth Phoenix right after, like during the men's Royal Rumble. But like the final 5 were Raquel, Liv, Rhea, Asuka, and Nikki Cross, and Ripley took out Rodriguez, and Morgan took out Cross. So the final 3 were Asuka, Ripley, and Morgan. I will say with Raquel, though, it makes sense because they were in San Antonio. And I even, from the My Hero person we have, Andrea, she sent it to me how like the local papers and stuff were hyping it up that she was in the Royal Rumble and all of that stuff. So that makes sense. And I would...
What'd they write? If you want to go to sleep, watch a Raquel match?
Wow. She's a hometown hero.
They don't write about some stuff about hometown heroes. But I will want to talk more about Liv, though, because obviously we've been very supportive of Liv when she won Money in the Bank, when she won the title, when she got screwed, how she lost the title, really never got a rematch. She even said, like, the year before, she was at the shortest person in. So she went from the shortest to being tied with the longest, with Rhea being there over an hour. So it still shows that, well, at least Triple H and them still believe in Liv Morgan, and she's still in a pretty, I don't think she's at the very, very top yet, but she's still in a like good, prominent position.
Good. She needs to be, because the way she lost that title was horrendous, and I will never forgive Vince or Ronda for that.
Jacob, what do you think from Liv going from shortest time a year ago to tied for the longest ever?
I love it because it shows that they're at least listening to the fans, and the fans are behind Liv, and they're still making her look strong and still making her look good. So I'm happy with it.
Byron, were you surprised that you brought up that Ronda Rousey was not in the Rumble?
Yes, because she lost the title to Charlotte on a random Friday night before the year ended. So I thought she would try to win it again like she did last year, but we haven't heard from Ronda. I forgot what day that was that Friday in December, but we haven't heard from her since then. So I don't know what they're doing with her. I don't know if she's going to have a WrestleMania match, come back and challenge somebody. I don't know what I don't care, honestly. Whatever Ronda does, go for it. If she wants to stay away for another 2 years because the fans don't like her, I'm okay with that.
Fair enough. He's still not here, but...
Wait, before we do, I do want to shout out one thing. Triple H, thank you for listening to the fans and renaming Dewdrop back to Piper.
Oh, yeah!
We thank you.
Yeah! And I did tell Byron, I didn't know if you knew this, Jacob, but the reason that Piper was gone for a while is because she had serious COVID. Like the life-death type.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know that either.
Oh, well. Hey, Piper, welcome back. Glad you're over the coof. And I don't know. Piper was a good one to come in. Like, honestly, I really thoroughly enjoyed the women's Royal Rumble. I actually liked it better than the men's. I liked the way they ended it. I liked all 3 on the apron. I liked the little shit Rhea did to kick out Asuka, and then
that move she
Liv
did on
Morgan
Liv.
selling. Yeah, the way she took out Liv sold the shit out of it. That was awesome. It's great.
Yeah, because I agree, because you had the point where that final three, I mean, the men's final three was Cody, Gunter, and Logan. We knew Logan Paul was going to win the Rumble. Like, but those three women, like, they were all on the edge. You're like, this could go either way. And you could even build more storylines for it, because Liv could just be like, you wouldn't have won the Rumble if Asuka didn't spray stuff in my face. So, like, you can do a whole thing with that, too. But you're right, Jacob. Like, they executed that very, very well. And we can go into these picks real. And Rhea came out on Monday, and I was shocked. She picked Charlotte. Were you shocked? Because I was.
I was shocked because I thought they were setting up the Bianca versus Rhea thing, since they didn't get their match at SummerSlam because Rhea was injured / sick. So I thought, I was like, all right, we'll give it to you at WrestleMania. But I was very, very surprised that she called out Charlotte. She said, at the end of WrestleMania, I'm walking away with your title. I'm like, okay, which sets up a storyline for when Charlotte won the Royal Rumble and called out her. So
WrestleMania 36.
WrestleMania 36, and Rhea lost, so maybe this is a changing of the guard. We'll see when it comes to April 1st or April 2nd, whichever night they're going on.
Jacob, what do you think of Rhea picking Charlotte?
I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was not the obvious pick. It was a nice little swerve. And then we're gonna run back, like you guys said, we're gonna run back WrestleMania 36, and we were all pissed off about that. We all hated the fact that Charlotte beat Rhea.
But it did come out that, even though they didn't have to pick her, it came out that she beat her because Rhea was it was during COVID, and Rhea was having visa issues.
True.
So that did come out.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care one bit. Damn it, Rhea should have won.
Hey, I agree. And Shayna Baszler should have beat Becky at WrestleMania, and so
she should have.
They both died that day. It's just Rhea's been reborn in Judgment Day. It took 3 years.
Yeah.
It took 3 years in Dominic Mysterio.
Ain't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Dominic Mysterio, we all shit on him. Yeah, he is a fucking terrible wrestler, especially compared to Logan Paul. But goddamn, his storyline telling heelness shit that he's doing is fucking mint. It is so good.
It is. Which also brings up a point, because his number was called right after Rey Mysterio was supposed to enter. I think they were like 16 and 17 or 17 and 18. And he comes out in Rey Mysterio's mask. We're like, holy shit, he jumped right before the Royal Rumble. Like, are they going to set up a him versus Rey match at WrestleMania?
Bro, I feel like Rey hasn't won in like 10 years, man. He just keeps taking L's.
He does. He does. But, like, is he going to put over Dom at WrestleMania, or are you finally going to get him
Rey. I mean, freaking Michael Cole called Dominic a piece of shit.
He did.
On the telecast.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's talk about that really quick. Speaking of commentary, Pat McAfee's back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was a massive surprise to everyone, even the commentating team, from everything I read.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fucking cool. I mean, Pat McAfee's back. That's always good shit.
Yeah, that was good. It made sense because college football's over, but then like you said, Cole and them had no idea, so that was genuine shock. So that was really cool. My thing with Rhea picking Charlotte is, are we looking at the end of Judgment Day then? And is Rhea going to still be the same if she wins? Because all of Judgment Day is just going to go to SmackDown?
Nah.
That's true. Nah. You'll probably have like Finn and Damian Priest on Raw, and then Dom and Rhea on SmackDown. They might still call themselves Judgment Day. Just like, oh, we're going to be Judgment Day, we're going to take over Raw, and then this side of Judgment Day is going to try to take over SmackDown. Which would be cool to see.
That's true. I would also think... Go ahead,
you cannot split up Rhea and Dominic Mysterio. You can't fucking do it.
No.
Dominic is such a good heater. You cannot split them up. All the shit they've done, the Thanksgiving crashes, the Christmas crashes, Dominic going to jail, and now he's just a fucking shanking everyone type dude. You cannot split those two up. They're fucking money together.
I would say too, like, and I was telling Byron, I was like, I do think 2023 is going to be built up and end at WrestleMania next year of Charlotte getting number 17. So,
you think she's gonna wait till WrestleMania to get 17?
I think it'll be I think they'll build it to that point. I mean, the girl, she could have came back at any time. She was gone for like 8 months.
It was.
Now,
I will give her that.
If she gets 17, does that mean she passes or ties everyone, or is she tied right now with everyone?
She'd pass because she's at 14 and Cena and Flair at 16. Remember, Ric Flair said the greatest segment in Raw history would be him and John Cena congratulating Charlotte for passing them. I was like, can you even get John? It depends on when you do. Can you even get him there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least he shows up for his 20th anniversary. So it's just so rubs me the wrong way. Then obviously Cody challenged Roman Reigns because, there's only one person with 2 titles. And he said Roman Reigns could have all the names he wants, but at the end of the night, he ain't going to be champion. So at the moment, we have Cody, Roman for both titles at WrestleMania. We're 60
going to be a really good match.
We're 61 days away from that now because yesterday was 62. What are we thinking about that?
Early on, I don't know A, who to pick, and B, who's going to win. Because sometimes those are 2 very, very different things.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited to see them scrap and build up that storyline from now until WrestleMania. That's what I'm intrigued about.
Jacob, this isn't the main event you've envisioned for 2 years, so how are you feeling?
Oh, I'll be all right. I know, I was wrong. I don't know who to bet on this match. I don't know who my prediction would be. I genuinely don't know, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Let's be completely honest. You're not going into this, hey, who's going to win, who's going to lose. You don't know. It's a very gray area because you can go multiple ways with it.
Agreed.
Do we give it to Cody? Does the Tribal Chief take some time off? What? And I feel like it's going to be an entire bloodline falling out in one night type deal. I mean, I don't know. Because I imagine when the Usos lose, Roman's going to lose. That's how I see it, And then what happens after that? I genuinely don't know. I mean, I'm good with it. It'll be fine. I'm very excited to see the build up of it. I'm excited to see the promos and the storylines that are built with it and who says what. How many times does AEW get brought up? How many times does, you left, started your own shit. Now you want to come back because your shit was failing type deal. Like, there's so many ways you can go about this. And, I'm excited. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. And then just before we go into the main event with Bianca, because she didn't pick Rhea, and I've always seen them as like Cena Batista, Cena Orton type rivalry thing, which they still might, because they're going to be the ones carrying the next generation and all of that. She's going to need someone at WrestleMania. So they're having the Elimination Chamber. They got a couple of notable ladies in there. You already got Liv in there. You already got Asuka in there. What woman would you want to see Bianca wrestle at WrestleMania who you can legitimately be like, oh, she really might lose? So you have that compellingness.
So I think the 4 that have announced so far: Asuka, Liv, Raquel, and then I forgot the 4th. I know they're having another match on next Raw.
Yep.
With Carmella because she just returned last night. Nikki Cross and like 2 others to see who owns another spot. So then there would be 1 spot left. But with the 4 known right now, I would either want Dark Asuka because I'm excited to see what they do with her. new gimmick, and Liv.
Yeah.
Either one of those two right now, I would say I would want to see face Bianca at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because you're right. Currently, right now, it's Asuka, Liv, Nikki, Raquel, first, and then 2 other people. Winner in the Elimination Chamber, which is going to be crazy, gets a chance at WrestleMania 39. Jacob, who do you think? Who would you want to have face Bianca in the spotlight? Because if you look at Bianca now, her 2 WrestleManias where she's won this title, main event against Sasha Banks, main event against Becky Lynch. So now she's probably going to be the one carrying the match, depending on who they pick. So who do you want her to face?
First thought comes to mind is obviously Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
I just because Asuka's back with her new old gimmick type deal thing. So I'd say Asuka. Has Bianca faced Nikki since Nikki went back to being like Sanity Nikki?
No, I don't think so.
Honestly, I'd like to see that match too. I think that could be a very fun match. Nikki is Sanity Nikki. I mean, I remember seeing her live up in Youngstown, and that was a fucking awesome match. That was a very fun match to watch her in live. So, dark horse, I'd say Nikki, but realistically, I'd say Asuka. But you could run a triple threat, and I'd be okay with that too. Of like Bianca, Asuka, and Liv. That would be a fun match, also. I'm good with anything. But
I do like the idea of that triple threat.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it. I mean, another idea that would be a lot of fun down the line is this Asuka versus corrupted Alexa Bliss. That'd be a very fun match. So I could see like Asuka getting the title and then having Alexa take it off her. That could be very, very fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right. Since he's not here, the main event, which this I was shut. Well, when they put the Royal Rumbles, I was like, all right, Roman versus Kevin Owens, 2 years in a row, Royal Rumble match. No, at the Royal Rumble for the title. This being last, Jacob, this is where I thought, all right, if Rock's coming, it's coming now, because why would you make this match last? Something is going to happen.
Yeah, about that.
Well, something did happen. I just really thought, I just felt like this could have been the Rock spot, because you don't make this match last unless something big is happening. We all knew Kevin was going to lose.
Yeah, it was how Kevin was going to lose, because initially, let's be honest, we all thought Sami Zayn was going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah, I picked him to win.
And when we didn't see Sami in the Rumble, and obviously we didn't see The Rock in the Rumble, the hopes and dreams of that were completely dwindling and dying a horrible, horrible death. So I figured, well, we have to see the turn. Sammy's going full-blown Bloodline, or Sammy's going full-blown fuck the Bloodline. So that when that came out last, I'm like that it's one of those two. Sammy's definitely a major part of this match.
Byron, when this match was last, what were your thoughts flowing through your head?
I know some shit is going down. I don't know what it's going to be. Like, if it's The Rock, that's going to be cool. If it's something else, I have no idea what it's going to be, but I was excited to see like how this was going to end. Like, Roman and KO put on another great match. There was a spot where it was like Roman and Kevin on the outside, and like Roman slams Kevin's head against the stairs. I was like, holy shit. Are you not concussed after that? But it was right.
I was like, how do you protect yourself in that? Because I was like, oh, that made me wince.
Exactly. I'm like, holy shit. Kevin's concussed. I don't know how he's going to finish this match, but he finished the match. Like, they put on a great match. And then after the match, like, the Bloodline beat the ever living shit out of Kevin Owens. And then you get the spot of Sami Zayn. Roman was like, all right, Sami Zayn, it's your turn to fucking hit Kevin Owens with a chair. And then Sami doesn't. Roman turns his back, and then Sami just
before that, because they were hitting him and all of that stuff. And like Roman was gonna hit him with because first of all, to visualize, they handcuffed Kevin Owens.
Yes.
On both things. And then they were all beating the shit out of him. Then Roman will like get the chair. Sami intervenes, says this is beneath you and all that stuff. Then Roman's like, you're right. It is beneath me. So you do it. And then I was like, oh. So then that's when he was hesitating. You see Roman getting in his face, pushing him, all that stuff. Like, do it, blah, blah, blah. This, that. He kept pushing him in his face. And then like you said, when Roman turned, he got hit with the chair. Jacob, when that moment happened, what did you think?
What? Roman Reigns and chairs just don't mix. Dude got hit in the back twice, completely side betrayed, and goes down the same way. Sells it amazing. I seen that, and I'm like, all right, we're finally going to get the tag team of Kevin and Sami going after the Usos, that's good. I'm happy with that. That was my first thought. I'm like, all right, well, that's good. But then they just beat the shit out of Sami Zayn. A poor guy. Like, it's like that Simpsons meme. Like, he's already dead. Stop it.
Yeah, because the storytelling, that's so crazy, because when he hit Roman, he turned around and said, I'm sorry. Like, to the like rest of the Bloodline, obviously they started beating the shit out of him, like you said. But there was one person who did it, and that was Jay.
Which I was surprised, because he's hated Sami this entire time. Sami was trying to be in the Bloodline. He finally accepted him at Raw 30. He was like, you know what? This is trial for Sami Zayn is bullshit. Here's all the evidence where he's actually supported us throughout the entire Bloodline. And then like he was torn. He's like, I can't do this. I'm out. Jay was screaming like, this, I'm your brother. You're gonna basically choose him over us. Like, so that's another rift in the Bloodline besides Sami turning. And then
that Friday too, on Monday, where Roman said, I don't want to see you here, Sami. And then the Usos got kicked out, and Jay called him and said, hey, can you watch over Solo? He's like, yeah, I'm sure. It's like, I'll do anything for you, yada yada. So it's like the storytelling in itself between Sami and Jay, how Jay, like you said, was his least supporter from the beginning, to then you get to the end that he is the most supportive of Sami, and you see that maturation, especially Survivor Series is when it really, like, at War Games and that War Games match and all that stuff. Just that microcosm of Sami and Jay's relationship changing. That storytelling's been amazing.
Yeah. Phenomenal storytelling.
So then, like, he leaves, and it's like, and I was reading some people's tweets and comments and all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, Jay left because he got triggered in the fact that he remembers when Roman was pushing Sami and doing all that stuff. That's how he used to get treated. If we remember the original part of the feud. And he's like, I was like, never again. And then he walked out. He even tweeted like, I'm out. And like, you see this.
Not only did he tweet that, he didn't just tweet that. He then posted on his Instagram story, run it back.
Yeah. With a picture of Roman Reigns. Yep.
He's going to be like, yeah, the Bloodline's fallen, man. It's time for some new leadership. Like, you have a whole, because when you said they're going to go against the Usos, I was like, one might be on their side. We don't know. And it's like, and then Jacob, I don't know if and then the end where you couldn't catch it because you were still in shock, because they really did beat the dog shit out of Sami Zayn. Like, ripped his shirt, put the pedals on, like, beat the hell out of him. You see Roman, Jimmy, and Solo, and he told Solo, we're at war now. Like, Roman said, we're at war. We take no prisoners. And Solo's just shaking his head. I'm like, Jacob, when you saw that clip, you're like, what did you think? Because I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I think it just shows the cracks in the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And we're now on the downward slope, I feel like, storyline. We've hit the arc. We're now heading down. And so, fuck, I'm excited. We're at war. All right.
Yeah.
Who are we at war with?
Yes.
Kevin and Sammy and Jay and fucking we're at war. And I'm like, all right, we're at war. Let's see what happens. Oh, it is really, really good storyline. I mean, it's really fucking good. Let's be real.
Byron, what did you think when you saw the "We're at War"?
Bro, I was like, first off, Solo is the last person we need to tell we're at war because Solo will literally fight anyone that Roman tells him to. And I was like, then, like Jacob says, like, who are we at war with? Like, the rest of the roster is chilling. Like, Cody Rhodes just won the Royal Rumble, so I guess, sure, you're at war with him. And then Sammy and KO, because, you know, they're about to try to bond and take out the bloodline. But, like, the rest of the roster is chilling. They haven't done anything. Who are we at war with?
And Jacob, like you said, it's great storytelling. One of the best storytelling they've had in years. And now it's like Fridays are must watch. At least the Bloodline segments, they're must watch because we got to follow what happens next.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's must watch television. It's the road, like the Royal Rumble is the start of the road to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And that was such a phenomenal way to start off the road to WrestleMania. Like that beautiful. Fucking beautiful. We're at war. It's amazing and it's beautiful and I love it. And I don't know. Fucking I mean, don't get me wrong, I won't watch Solo like rip someone's head off because I like it, but I'm excited. Like does Jimmy and Solo run like the tag titles now? Like kind of like a Freebird role?
Mm-hmm.
Is Paul Heyman getting in on the action? I don't know.
I mean, just like at that Raw 30 where Roman Reigns said, "I have enough Solo." I was like, "Oh my god!"
I'm like, "Damn, Sam, you're dead."
And then Jay stopped it, and we're just like, "What is happening?" And like this up and down, like it's just been nuts. It's been
the roller coaster of emotions. I'm trapped in a glass box full of emotions.
Yeah, it's been crazy. See, the reason I picked Sammy. Also, for Bloodline crowds, could you imagine what the Bloodline would have been if they had the Royal Rumble winner in there and it's Sammy?
Oh, that would have been wild. I
thought they were gonna pull the old Triple H Batista, like when Batista won the Royal Rumble and Triple H is like, go to SmackDown, go take out JBL. And then they're talking shit behind their back and Sammy finds was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna take you out. I thought that's what, but I was wrong. But Sammy could. Jacob, do we have a scene where potentially one of those rumors is true that Roman wrestles both nights?
All right, I thought about that, and I hate the fact I'm going back to this fucking 2-year-old prediction. But I ran this scenario through my fucking mind here of what if at some point The Rock comes out and says, "You know what? Fuck it. You're being a bitch. I'm taking you out." First night. Like I feel like it's going to be like a New Japan Wrestle Kingdom type deal. Where hey, the first night we're having a match. Second night we're facing the winner of, well, there for them it's the G1, for WWE it's the Rumble. So I was like, are we going to see The Rock and Roman face off main event night 1, and then the winner faces Cody night 2? Have the women start out. Yeah, winner of that faces Cody, and have the women just start it out. I mean, if you're not going live, go first in WrestleMania, and you can do that, and dude, that'd be hype as fuck.
I didn't think. Wow, that would also put Cody like really up on an even higher pedestal because you have The Rock and Roman Reigns fighting for a chance to fight Cody. Like,
yeah,
exactly, dude. God, if they fucking pull that off, that is some of the best fucking shit ever. And not just because I'd be right in a prediction. That genuinely would be fucking awesome. The Rock and, like you said, Rock and Roman facing off for the opportunity to fight Cody Rhodes. Because you can see Rock come out and be like, fuck you, I'm fighting you. And Cody's like, nah, bitch. I won the Rumble. You guys can take night 1. I'm taking night 2. Whoever wins, come face me. I'm the real champ.
I do feel like now Sammy's going to have a big part in ending Roman's title reign. If he's going to low blow him I feel like Sammy's going to have a major part. What do you think of that, Byron?
I wouldn't be mad at it. Like, during Survivor Series, I saw a tweet that said, man, when eventually Sammy turns on the Bloodline, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. I was like, no, I don't feel like Sammy's going to turn on the Bloodline. I feel like the Bloodline's going to turn on Sammy because they've been sowing that seed. I was like, whatever. But like when Sammy, I definitely had a much more emotional impact when Sammy turned on the Bloodline instead of the Bloodline turning on Sammy. So Sammy now being like a renegade, trying to right the wrongs of the Bloodline, I can see him interfering in that match between Roman and Cody Rhodes, and that's how Roman loses. And then maybe we get like a Roman versus Sammy at SummerSlam for shits and giggles.
What do you have a scene where they're able to turn everyone against Roman in the Bloodline? You have a scene where they all hit their finishers on Roman, and then Cody finally finishes them off. What if you have a scene like that? Like you have Roman in the middle, you have Jay on one turn, Jimmy on one, Solo in the other. They're facing. I
feel like
Cody.
Solo wouldn't turn though. I feel like Solo.
You can convince them. Just think about that. Because they'll be like, Solo, you're so good. Why are you taking orders? You know, the signature. So then because sooner or later, because then that makes it believable that a dude who's held the title for is going to be almost 3 years in. Is that it took his family and Cody to take him out.
That would be some wild stuff.
All right. Hold on. I see where you guys are coming from. But I think you're wrong on your timeline here. This is what I think. All right. So I think we're getting Sammy and Roman at Elimination Chamber.
Early. So in a couple of weeks.
I see that happening. All right. Because it's in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Hometown of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is already on the chairs. They have been leaked. He is already on like the front row, the collectible chairs that like the front row gets. He's already on the chairs. So I think we're getting that. But I don't think Sammy screwing over Roman is bigger than Jey Uso screwing over Roman. I think Jey Uso hitting a low blow on Roman is more impactful. And Cody then takes the opportunity to then hit a crossroads to finish Mania. But I think the next night, Roman comes out, Bloodline, get your asses out here. I want all of you out here. And they just go, all right, I've had enough of your bullshit. And then they all do their finishers on Roman. Roman gets injured. And then he takes some time off. Let him cool down, regroup, do his thing, get him away from the spotlight. That way, when he does come back, it's a bigger impact for everyone.
Fair enough. Quickly, the L7C producer has entered. He wanted to talk about the Bloodline stuff. So, Justin, we already ran through a whole bunch of stuff. So, what do you have to say about what happened?
It was just peak fiction, man. Like, you know, Oda couldn't have wrote that shit better. Kishimoto couldn't have wrote that shit better. Nigga who made Dragon Ball Z couldn't have wrote that shit better. Toriyama. I mean, it was beautiful, man. Like, and like, I felt like I saw Sami Zayn about to turn. Like, I definitely saw that coming, just like the way they're just like beating the shit out of Kevin Owens. Like, there's no way his man's from like years, like his best friend, he was going to not like help that nigga. But Jey Uso Jey Uso walking out the ring, that was the chef's kiss right there. That was the one. That's what got me.
So, Justin, what do you? Because we've talked about our stuff. I want to hear from you. Where are they going to go with this?
Man, I don't even know. I'm very interested to see SmackDown this week and see how the Bloodline addresses Jey Uso, really, because like I heard the tail end that's probably going to be Roman and Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber. I could definitely see that happening, but the real thing is what they going to do about Jey Uso. He's the one in the family, like not down with this shit. So I don't know.
Tag team champs.
yeah. And then that piece too, like he's one half of the tag team champion. So like, I don't know how all that's going to go. I definitely see Jay and Jimmy losing the tag title soon. So yeah, it was crazy. Like it was
Justin,
the best thing.
Did you peep the Roman's line about we're at war now?
Yeah, I saw that when he was
How do you feel about Roman saying that we're at war now? We're taking no prisoners in Solo, and he just shakes his head like this.
I mean, he's the ultimate supervillain of the WWE. I think it's pure evil. The man had 51,000 people saying "fuck you, Roman." Fuck you, Roman. It was beautiful. It was honestly peak fishing. Your favorite anime author couldn't have written it better.
We agree. You brought it up too. SmackDown, you can't miss SmackDown now when
exactly.
the Bloodline's on. You can't.
Exactly. Like it is must fucking see TV. Like the whole way they did it. Like, and you're thinking, man. And then like our old mindset, when Vince running the company, Vince coming back. You know how they gonna fuck this up? How they gonna fuck this up? We bringing Sami Zayn to the Bloodline. How the fuck is this gonna go? And then everything has been good. Everything has been gold. And then just a crescendo up to this point. It was just beautiful. Hunter, keep it up. Don't let your daddy-in-law get near this storyline, please.
Yeah, we did talk about at the beginning how under Triple H they've been having record numbers. So who knows? But Justin, anything else you wanted to add about Royal Rumble stuff since you're coming in? Like any tidbits you wanted to add about like the men's, the women's matches? Any star who really caught your eye?
I mean, the Royal Rumble matches were pretty much chalk. Like that's what I ended up picking on my sheet. Like it was like you knew Cody was going to win that shit. Like they announced
Jacob. Remember, Jacob said Rock for 2 years.
Yeah, for 2 years. He was just holding on to a bad take. Like, I'm not even going to give him too much shit about that. Like, he was just literally trying to just hold on to a bad take. But, like, yeah, it was pretty much shocked. Like, they had just announced everyone who was going to be in that men's Royal Rumble. And then you're like, Cody coming back. Like, what are these people going to do if we don't do it with Cody? And the same thing with the women's. Like, the way, like, Rhea Ripley has been booked up until this point, you just knew, like, it was going to be her. I did almost put down Bayley though. That would have been my other pick if I didn't pick Rhea. So yeah, it was just pretty much chalk. I love the spot with Jake Paul and Ricochet jumping off the top rope, just banging there. Logan, Jake, god damn it, Paul.
Yeah, Jake's Paul.
Whatever Paul it is, the one that don't box anymore.
Yeah.
that was a good spot. What else, man? Yeah,
I'm gonna throw a hot take to all y'all right now. Currently, I think the favorite to win Money in the Bank is Gunter, and he will win the world title if he wins. It is in the Money in the Bank is in the UK. I think he's going to win.
It is.
Gunther's going to get pushed regardless. I don't even think he needs a Money in the Bank at this point. Like,
well, you'll need it if Roman's still champ. If Cody doesn't beat him,
I don't think Roman will be champ.
Well,
we're going on 3 years now. Come on, like this is a reign of terror we haven't seen before in the modern era.
You're true. I can't believe it until I see someone pin him. The last dude who pinned him was 2019. It was Baron Corbin, and
I think Gunther can certainly be the man who ends it. But I don't think he's going to be the one to end it. I don't think Gunther necessarily needs the Money in the Bank because he's been booked so well up until this point. I just don't think he even needs it. Like once he loses the IC title, like he's in the world title picture as soon as he loses it, unless he wants to go back for the IC title. Sure. In my opinion.
Yeah. Jacob, you were going to say something.
I think from a future roster building standpoint, you almost have to have Cody win the Mania.
Yes.
Because if you take Cody to win at Mania, it shows all the people who are questioning, hey, do I want to stay in AEW? You know, where do I want to go? If you look at it from that point of view and you go, well, Cody left and he went on to headline WrestleMania and win the title. So I think it's almost like a goodwill thing for wrestlers in general, trying like possibly thinking about jumping ship.
I got a question for you, Jacob.
Yes, sir.
You think Cody would be in this spot if he didn't tear his pec at Hell in a Cell and did that match and got all the good praise from it?
Match of the year.
Because I don't.
I don't know. I don't know because of two things. One, like you mentioned, I have been holding on to a take for 2 years now, both good and bad, possibly. So I don't know on that standpoint, but like I think it might have been I think this might have been the plan all along in a way. I mean, you think about it, you had the EVP of AEW, one of the pillars who have built this competition of a company, and he jumped ship to come back to you. Fuck, that is a lot of fucking backstage goodwill you can do if, from other wrestler standpoints, if he wins, which is both good and bad because you can look at it like, hey, he went to this other company, he came back, and now he won. Well, that's bullshit. I've been here the whole time. And then you also have the guys who are like, hey, you know, I thought about going to the WWE. Yeah, look what Cody did.
And he's been presented in the main event ever since he's been back. And to Jacob's thing, especially if you have Cody win at the end of 2023. I mean, once 2024 starts, which is a legitimate thing that he's using in his promos, who's getting MJF?
Sure.
I don't know.
That's a whole year from now. I don't know. Yes, you gotta see where the landscape's at.
That's a whole year from now. But for years,
I
know. But for years, you heard the cracks at AEW, and Cody was there the next year. I'm just saying.
Also, to Justin's question, I think he might have, because I think they were going to have him win Money in the Bank before he got injured, and then they went with Austin Theory. So I think, in a way, I think they would have him in the title picture in some capacity, because I think he definitely would have won Money in the Bank, because he is the one that introduced, like, I think it was like February. They had the first promo was him saying Money in the Bank is coming.
Yeah. And he was on the poster of that. And I do feel like he would have, if he didn't get hurt, he would have won Money in the Bank. And Jacob, I'm not going to lie, if Rock actually was going to be there, that's what I felt like they were going to go. Him and Cody, I mean, Rock and Roman, and Cody has Money in the Bank, and he could cash in whenever. I thought that was good, but things happened. Rock apparently said,
Yeah, I mean,
got other shit to do.
I guess.
I mean, it is kind of crazy when you think about it, how they were going to have the whole Samoan dynasty was going to be at Raw one night, and then all of a sudden, it's not changed. And
that's when they officially knew Rock was out. That's when they knew.
Mm-hmm.
That is when they knew.
Well, we didn't show it the Raw 30.
Yeah, because they had to change that whole thing because they were going to have them all there.
Mm.
That's when they knew. And I know people were making a big deal because Rock's mom was at the Royal Rumble. Yeah, because the whole family was there besides Dwayne.
Big time.
The whole family, especially with Nia coming back.
Were they there for 9? Yeah.
Yeah.
All 40 of them.
Oh, yeah, they took a group picture. They took a group picture.
Yeah.
In the back. So, I don't know, man. WrestleMania is going to be super interesting. Like, this road, SmackDown's must see anytime the Bloodline's on there. Sami Zayn already has new merch. Yeah, and
also, did you notice the tiny little detail in Sammy's new shirt?
With the duct tape.
With the duct tape?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to KO.
Just like Kevin Owens' shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty good. Pretty clever right there.
They're good. They're good. Before we end, Justin, more quick hits for you. Do you think Rhea can beat Charlotte?
I do, because Charlotte always loses the ones at back. So why not?
Fair enough.
Yep.
Who do you want Bianca Belair to face at WrestleMania? They're having an elimination chamber for the number 1 contendership.
I know Asuka, Carmella. Who else is in that bitch?
Carmella's going to be wrestling for it, but she hasn't been. She's going to be in it. But Liv Morgan, Asuka, Nikki Cross, and Raquel are the only 4 confirmed right now.
And WWE can't sign Jay Cardinal right now. That's the match I really want to see. But fucking Asuka.
Okay. Fair enough. Anyone else have anything to say?
Oh, yeah, I do. It has nothing to do with the Royal Rumble, but I feel like we should address it because we are a wrestling podcast.
Okay.
The passing of Jay Briscoe.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Holy shit, that one took everyone by. No one's seen that coming.
Mm-hmm.
Driver swerved and hit his truck and killed him and injured his 2 kids. And damn, the whole wrestling world came together for that one. That shit was extremely, extremely sad. And one of the things that was going around, shout out to Tony Khan, because Tony Khan booked an entire fucking jet to fly everyone to his funeral. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like I've dealt with places before where it's like, hey, I'm going to need like a couple days off. I got a funeral coming up. You know, I'm not going to be there. Like, you know, we kind of need you here. Are you sure? Like, fuck off. I'm going to. This dude booked an entire fucking private jet to fly out everyone who wanted to go to Jay's funeral. Dude, and then did an entire show, an entire tribute show just for Jay. Posted it free. That way everyone can see it. It's not behind a paywall. It's not behind shit. It's on YouTube right now. I mean, dude,
he fought too because for the fact that Warner
Bros.
Yeah, weren't letting them use like Briscoe's like film shit, which okay, but no, I agree with you, Jake. I mean, Tony Khan's a good dude. Like those things he does really well in.
Yeah.
Like the tragic situations, he does very well in. It's the day-to-day shit that he messes up.
Yeah. But like losing Jay Briscoe, like that one hurt. That one genuinely, I mean, for me, it hurt. Me and my wife just seen him a few months ago.
Yeah.
At House of Glory Wrestling. It was just like, dude, the hell just happened? So, you know, get your loved ones, tell them you love them. You know?
Another small reminder, you can just be going to work and then that's your last day.
Yeah.
But I would also say too, because this only happens in Triple H's regime. They don't say rest in peace and all that stuff to Briscoe if they're under Vince.
Yep.
And that's a fact. And that's a fact.
Yeah, because they announced it during NXT when it happened. They said RIP to Jay Briscoe and his passing. I was like, that's big because you're right. If it's Vince, we don't even hear the word Jay Briscoe at all on WWE TV.
Well, with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're going to have more of the WrestleMania cards soon, and then we'll be previewing WrestleMania in about 2 months from now. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you for all who like, rate, all that stuff. Listen on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that jazz. We greatly appreciate y'all. And Cody Rhodes and Rhea. Cody from the L7C, finish the job, man. Take them out. With that being said, take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.